More evidence tonight of out-of-control conflicts of interest at the Justice Department. Links between a senior Justice Department official and the smear group behind the discredited Trump dossier run far deeper than anyone has previously reported. Fox News Chief Washington correspondent James Rosen now has the shocking report.
Lou, good evening. New disclosures confirmed to Fox News by top investigators on the House Intelligence Committee show that the link between Fusion GPS, the firm behind that anti-Trump dossier, and a top Justice Department official ran deeper than previously known. Fox News was the first to tell you last week about the abrupt demotion on Wednesday of Bruce Ohr, the Associate Deputy Attorney General, who was stripped of that title and his fourth-floor office at Main Justice amid an ongoing investigation into his contacts with the two leading figures in the controversy over the dossier, meetings that DOJ officials told Fox News Ohr had withheld from his superiors. House Intelligence Committee staff uncovered that Ohr met last year with both Christopher Steele, the former British spy who authored the dossier with input from Russian sources, and that Ohr also met last year with Glenn Simpson, the founder of Fusion GPS, the opposition research firm that paid Mr. Steele with funding from the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee. Now Fox News has confirmed that Nellie Ohr, an academic Russia expert and the wife of Bruce Ohr, worked for Fusion GPS last year, indeed was paid by the opposition research firm through the summer and fall of 2016, a timeline that places her on the company payroll around the time the dossier was funneled to the FBI and perhaps through the election, some 2 weeks after which her husband met secretly with Glenn Simpson. The House Intelligence Committee Chairman Nunes told Fox News in a statement today is looking into all facets of the connections between the Department of Justice and Fusion GPS, including Mr. Ohr. DOJ, which initially claimed Bruce Ohr had been stripped of his top-line duties because he was holding down 2 jobs at DOJ, and that was, quote, unusual, today had no comment about the revelation that Mrs. Ohr worked for Fusion GPS last year. Lou.
Quite a report, James. Thanks. James Rosen. Joining me now, former Republican Congressman from Utah, Jason Chaffetz, now Fox Business contributor. Great to see you. And let's start with this. How in the world does the Justice Department not know where spouses of top officials work and what their connections are to highly active smear merchants like GPS Fusion or Fusion GPS?
Well, thanks for having me on, Lou. I don't believe that they are so naive. I actually do think they know this, and I do think they've known it for some time. I think the deep state is alive and well in the Department of Justice, and I think there's a reason why Mr. Nunes is the chairman of the Intel Committee in the House, as well as Trey Gowdy and others there on the Intel Committee, have been given the stiff arm and stonewalled. They wanted the financial records. They wanted the details so that they could actually interview people in person. And there's a reason why for months, despite a subpoena and other requests, they were given the stiff arm. It's because I think they actually did know.
They actually did know. And if that is the case, Robert Mueller should turn his direction directly to the Democratic Party, the DNC, and the Hillary Clinton campaign, and those, as you put it, the deep staters within the Justice Department are more likely what they are partisans, left-wing partisans trying to subvert a president.
Well, so I got deep concerns about Attorney General Sessions. Where is he in all of this? You know, and the Obama administration had some deep-seated people put into place, but it's President Trump's Department of Justice at this point, and it's not good enough for the FBI director to go before the Committee of Jurisdiction, as they did last week, the Judiciary Committee, and say, well, that's better in another setting, or that's better in somewhere else. Those people all have security clearances. They're the Committee of Jurisdiction, and for about 4 or 5 hours, the FBI director, saw no evil, wouldn't talk about any evil. But that's not the way our country works. It has for the last several years, but that's not the way it's supposed to work.
As I listened to Christopher Wray, I thought I was listening to a Democrat, and that suddenly time had rolled back to the days of the Obama administration. I couldn't imagine his answers being one iota different.
Well, I wish Chairman Goodlatte had made him sit there and actually answer the questions. If they need to go into executive session because there's something classified, then do it. But, you know, the FBI director tried to get away with, well, we can't show you that in this setting and it's classified. Every member of Congress has a classified clearance. And if they had cleared the room and gone into that, that's how you do oversight. But again, Intel is taking the lead on this. I believe in Devin Nunes. I believe in Trey Gowdy, Tom Rooney. You got some really good people. Mike Conaway is right in the thick of this thing, and they've been at it for months, and I think they're making some progress. At least I hope they are.
Devin Nunes is obviously making progress because his investigators on the House Intelligence Committee have produced real results. I can't say that of any other committee over the course of 8 years of the Obama administration who produced tangible, concrete results that resulted in consequence. Am I wrong?
Well, look, I mean, I was chairman of a committee for a while during that administration. Right. I also served when Darrell Issa was the chairman. Right. But you see what happens. Even when you found, like, for instance, in the case of the IRS, when you actually do find wrongdoing, what does the Department of Justice do? They say, oh, well, we reached a settlement. They apologized, but there's no consequence. Nobody in handcuffs. Nobody actually held accountable. And we could go down the list, everything from Fast and Furious to the IRS to Benghazi to the Hillary Clinton email scandal to what's going on with Fusion GPS to Uranium One. I mean, how many do we have to list out? And you can't find anybody who's actually held accountable in the government.
Your best counsel to the president.
Look, my best counsel to the president is it's your Department of Justice. You are the only constitutionally elected officer who actually has control over there. And I don't buy into the Democrats about obstruction of justice, anything else. Let Lady Justice operate with a blindfold, but you better clear the deck because you got people in there that are not calling balls and strikes.
I mean, I love your idealism.
Bring it to a grand jury. Bring it to a grand jury and let citizens actually look at the evidence and make a decision. That's the way our system's supposed to work. The FBI is not supposed to put the brakes on it before it even gets to a grand jury. But take the evidence, put it before them, and let them make a decision. And just try prosecuting somebody.
What happens if Jeff Sessions actually does his job? I have great respect. I've always had great respect for Jeff Sessions. Yeah. He's been an important voice in the U.S. Senate. His disappearance makes me think either they have an enormous file on him in the deep state that is prohibiting him from serving the president he signed up to serve, and the nation he signed up to. He has to see how deep the crisis is and how profound the moment is for him to get to work and really assure that justice is done here. I've never seen anything as corrupt, politically corrupt, as one special counsel, that of Robert Mueller. Person after person with conflicts of interest, and Jeff Sessions throws his hands in the air and recuses himself over Russian coalition. Every piece of evidence found to this point by the FBI, all of the committees, has shown collusion, all right, but it's collusion between the Democrats and the Russians, not Republicans.
I have sat with Attorney General Sessions in person. I've talked to him on the phone, and my own personal opinion, I don't think the Attorney General is up to the job. I just don't. That's just, it's sad because I think he has a storied history. He's done a lot for this country. But the moment he got there, he had to recuse himself. He's nowhere to be found on pushing this, and I do think you're going to see Congress, particularly over the next couple of weeks, including next week, really ratchet it up because I don't think that they're actually living up to their job and administering justice. I'm not saying it has to go to Republicans' way. I just don't see them moving forward on any of these fronts.
Why the hell shouldn't it go the Republicans' way? I mean, we elected a Republican president. We've got Republican leadership in both houses. Why in the world aren't the leaders of the Senate and the House standing shoulder to shoulder with President Trump? Because they could bring this thing to a conclusion.
I don't know, Lou, and I think you're on top of it, and I think you're expressing a lot of concern that most Americans that are looking at this are seeing from coast to coast. They just want balls and strikes called. They just want an honest opinion. You've got over 100,000 employees, 10,000 attorneys, but somehow Mueller's team is chock full with donors to the Democratic Party. I mean, I just don't understand that. And it continues. And there are a lot of good, hardworking, patriotic people there at the FBI, at the DOJ. But do you really have to have this clown car with people whose wife works for the firm that's being investigated? I mean, seriously, you write that in a book, put it in a movie, most people wouldn't believe it.
The special counsel investigating collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, and every single connection so far has been between the Democratic apparatus, the Democratic Party, the DNC, and Russia. This is astounding. And you can't even get the national left-wing media to focus for a moment on it. They keep holding up a shiny object or maybe a dull one, but they keep on supporting in complicity with the deep state and the Democratic Party. Jason Chaffetz, it's great to have you here. Come back soon.
Thanks, Lou.
Thank you. Be sure to vote on our poll tonight. The question is, do you